Hey, what's up guys, John here. Everyone in America is waiting for November, hoping that everything is going to change and we're going to go back to 2018, 2019 version of this country where people are going to be able to breathe. There's going to be a really affordable place to work and live, and everything is just going to be great. You're going to be able to take a normal wage and be able to buy a house. But the more that you look into what's really going on, the more you'll realize that's not what's going to happen regardless of who wins. Have you seen this Donald Trump video? 2.7 million views. 2.7 million views. And what he essentially says is we need a lot more people to come into America because of what's going to happen with AI. So AI, many would argue, is going to disrupt millions and millions of jobs over the coming 3 to 5 years inside of America. So because of all of this job disruption,
artificial intelligence could replace millions of jobs.
Artificial intelligence could leave everyone unemployed.
We need to add millions of more people that will also be looking for jobs. Now, I just got done traveling all throughout America. I went to Vegas, Denver, Cincinnati, Austin. I went to Phoenix. I went to LA and San Francisco, everywhere. Looking at all these different job markets, what I'm seeing is we're seeing a lot of people that are getting trained for these jobs. And they're not just getting trained for one specific type of job. It's not just construction. They're getting trained in trucking, inside of computer engineering, inside of all these different fields. Look at this video, for example, this Denver video. It's over 600,000 views. And I interview a family to kind of understand how this entire process works. And how it works is they come and they basically get the first 6 months comped and they get free education and free training. Now, when we start to bring forward either policy, whether it be from Kamala, whether it be from Donald, whichever, gets us to the same place, right? It gets us to the same place. Now, look at what Trump said. Look at this, 2.7 million views.
But basically, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the energy prices down almost immediately, and we're going to close the border, and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things.
So we're going to get the bad ones out, right? But we're going to bring in a lot more because of AI and all these different things, right? I'm going to show you what's actually happening here, because what I think is happening is I believe we're walking into a rug pull on the middle class. Now, I believe that it's a staged collapse of the 90%, the bottom 90% of the economic, pyramid. That's what I think is going to happen here. And I believe we're going to see AI, we're going to see all of this change unfold, and the top 5, 10% are going to make out like bandits. And I share this information because I believe the next 12 to 24, 36 months will be the most important to generate wealth and to build wealth and enterprise value than any other time in history. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you the facts. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content. Educate more people about what's really going on in America and in our economy. If you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself, what I believe is going to be an incredible moment for those that are ambitious, we'd love to help you if you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report. Go to greatcreditfast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow. Take a look at this. And you can check out our reviews on Trustpilot. Look at this. So, Top VC says prediction that AI will displace 50% of jobs in the next 2.5 years, right? Then they claim that it was over 10 million since 2020 have come in. Then, USA Today fact checks 51 million, right? So essentially the entire state of California and half the state of Florida. That's what they're saying. No, that's not right. It's more like 10, but still, that's half the state of Florida. Now, when you start to look at some of these changes, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because many people hear this, the buzzwords. We need to combat inequality and inequity. We need to make things more fair and just. And whether you are on the left side or on the right side, everyone, I believe, believes that people that are working hard, they should be able to feed themselves, right? They should be able to, have nice, food, and they should be able to have a roof over their head. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. But when you look at some of these changes, you'll realize that it's kind of skewed, right? So Harris promises $25,000 down payment for first generation, not for now. And I Googled this because I'm like, what is the perfect definition for first generation? Because we all know what it means, but it says any individual whose parents or guardian never owned a home. Well, most people owned a home and could easily own a home on a janitor's salary 30, 40 years ago, right? You could work in a kitchen somewhere. You could be a substitute teacher. You could have, you could be a bus driver. You could have everyday American job and you'd own a home, right? But it says 25K. So if people come, right, and I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm just looking at things factually. People come, they don't have any debt, no credit card, auto loan, no debt, no expenses. They're able to learn a trade and they're able to get 25K. I would bet it would be a lot easier for that individual to be able to buy a home or buy a car than someone in America right now, where if they go through a McDonald's drive-through, it's $20 or $18 for a Big Mac combo. And most people behind on credit card bills. The default rate on credit cards, 29.6% in the top 100 metros in America. That's according to LendingTree.com, right? So a third of Americans are behind on their bills inside of these top 100 cities. Chamath Palihapitiya, who was one of the early employees at Facebook, and he's the all-in pod. Everybody knows who the guy is. 1.7 million followers on X. Says, "Tell me we're in a recession without telling me we're in a recession." They changed the job numbers by up to 1 million. This means that it beats recorded in the past year will have been misses, and the U.S. job market is far worse shape than the admin would like to admit. Right now, you start to look at what these layoffs. You start to look at these, the words in which they choose to use. The Great Tech Reset, 7 hours ago, Forbes magazine, right? The Great Tech Reset. Then you look at, BBC says U.S. salaries are falling. Employers say compensation is just resetting. This is March of March 7th, right? So you start to look at this, you're like, all right, let's get a big picture on what's going on in the job market. What's really going to happen in the economy? Now, you have $3.2 trillion worth of a refinancing wall looms for high carbon issuers. The figure represents more than half of all outstanding debt from carbon intensive sectors. So you have these carbon intensive sectors, they have to refinance $3.2 trillion worth of debt. Then you have $2 trillion in debt just from corporations, everyday American companies. They have to refinance their debt over the next several years. Then you have $2.2 trillion in commercial real estate that has to get refinanced from now until 2027. So you start just doing the math, you're looking at almost $7 trillion in debt that has to get refinanced over the next 3 years, right? So as this is unfolding and credit card debt is skyrocketing, and it says credit card and auto loan delinquencies hit the highest rate in a decade and defaults have not peaked. And Americans struggle to put food on the table, and they're not going to hold back on their vote. You have to ask yourself, regardless of who gets in, looking at things factually, right? Smart people base things on what's really true, and everyone else base things on what they want to be true. What's really true is, regardless of who wins, we're going to start to see wages continue to fall in America. We're going to see a consolidation of wealth continue to grow dramatically over the next 36 months. We're going to see companies and corporations using all of their dry powder to invest heavily in AI and buy real estate, buy infrastructure, buy hard real assets, and expand. And we're going to just see a lot of change. And inside of all this change, people are going to be demanding basic subsidies, such as universal basic income, stimulus. They're going to need financial assistance. There's just no way. And so how else would they survive? So how are they going to fund that? Increase taxes. Increase taxes on who? Middle-class American business owners, right? These middle-class American business owners that are facing, this complete change in the economy with AI. And there's just, how do we not see a major shift in wealth, regardless of who wins? That's what I think. That's why I've never really talked about politics on this channel, because I think, at the end of the day, I don't think it really is going to move the needle too much. And I think regardless of who's, taking it, we're all going to probably end up in the same place, right? It just might be, different conversations that, we're going to see on Twitter and on the media about, how we should and shouldn't handle things. But at the end of the day, I believe we're going to continue moving in the same direction. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think we're going to see a scenario where there might be price caps on, grocery stores, might be rent control and national rent control? I predicted that over a year ago. Over 1 year ago, I did a YouTube video saying there will be conversations about a national rent control. That's what's going to happen. They're going to bring forward these rent caps. And back then, people would say, oh, that's crazy, it's not going to happen. Look, I mean, CNN picked up the story about 2 weeks ago. I mean, MSN picked up the story about 2 weeks ago, talking about this specific conversation I had. This is what I believe is going to unfold. I don't think there's any way around this. I think we're walking into a major rug pull. I think consumers are in very, very big trouble. And I think the smart ones are out there saying, how can I get out of high interest rate credit card debt? How can I reduce my monthly expenses? You know, how can I really put myself in a position to where I can pivot and move inside of the chaos? Because I don't think, I mean, look out at the world. Look at everything unfolding, all these different countries all throughout the world. You look at everything happening inside of America right now. How are we not walking into a storm, right? And if you're walking into a storm, you want to be positioned with cash, low debt, you know, stable income, great credit, options. You want to be able to move around because most people, I don't think, are going to have any choice. And if you want choice, now's, I think, the time to make smart choices. What do you think about this entire situation? Let's have a conversation about this below. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow and check out reviews on Trustpilot. Catch you next video.